Hello, good evening students. In today's class we have studied medium transmission lines and nominal T method, how to go for calculations and one problem. We have to discuss once again highlights. Those who remain absent take the benefit of this class. It is well known fact that in short transmission lines the capacitance effect is neglected because length of the transmission line and transmitting power voltage level, it is also less. But as the length of transmission line, voltage of the transmission of power increases, but capacitance effect is not neglected. But same happens in case of medium transmission lines. Medium transmission lines are having 50 to 150 kilometers in the range of length and operating the voltage more than 20 kV. Hence, we have to consider capacitance effect to get the accuracy results. But the capacitance is uniformly distributed over the entire length of the transmission lines. It is similar to resistance and inductive reactance of the transmission line. But however, for analysis of transmission line, the capacitance is assumed to be concentrated at a particular point, or it may be lumped, the same word extended. The capacitors are shunted between the lines at one point or more points depending upon capacitance connection. We may getting the different methods. We have to see that. Since this method is also called localizing the line capacitance and it gives more accurate results. Hence we have to consider the capacitance effect. So depending upon the connections of capacitor, we are having three methods to calculate the performance. End condenser method number 1, nominal T method, nominal pi method. So we have to see first nominal T method and nominal pi method. Lastly we can go for end condenser method. So first one we have to discuss nominal T method. In this method, whole line capacitance is assumed to be concentrated or lumped at the center of transmission line as shown in equivalent circuit diagram or electric circuit. You see there, L be the length of transmission line, VR be the receiving end voltage per phase, IR is the receiving end current, where Vs is sending end voltage per phase, Is is sending end current, and Z is the impedance of transmission line, where C is the capacitance, line capacitance. So now for analysis purpose of three-phase line, we have to consider for phase system, that means one line, one neutral. Capacitance is connected one line to neutral. C with the capacitance and IC be the current flowing through the capacitance, and V1 is the voltage across capacitance as shown in figure. That means the capacitance C is centralized at one point, that is middle of the transmission line or center of the whole transmission line. Hence we are getting impedance, 50% of impedance towards the sending side and 50% of impedance towards the receiving side. So what is the impedance? Z equal to R plus JXL. We have to take 50% of values. That means R by 2 and XL by 2. That goes to in favor of sending end. Next 50% R by 2 and XL by 2. That is taken with respect to receiving end side as shown in figure. Such a arrangement is called nominal T method. Once again I repeating, IC is the capacitance current, R be the resistance per phase, C be the capacitance per phase, Vs is sending end voltage per phase, cos pi r receiving end power factor, V1 is voltage across capacitor, IR is load current or receiving end current, XL is the inductive reactance, all are per phase. Be careful, always given in the problem value is line voltage. Already it is observed while solving the problem. That's why these values should be always in phase. Remember, Vs and Vr. Taking the receiving end voltage Vr as the reference vector, we have to see in next slide. In earlier method, Vr is reference vector as usual. So receiving end voltage E becomes Vr plus J0. Load current IR equal to IR into cos pi r minus of J sin phi r. Then voltage across V1 starting from the receiving end, you can add drop of 50% impedance. That means IR into Z by 2. This Z by 2 may be replaced by R by 2 plus J XL by 2. Next step. So this is the vector diagram. You observe vector diagram very carefully. Just it is extended version of short transmission line and additional of capacitance current. You take Vr as reference, sir, starting from again load voltage, Vr as reference. Then you can add the 50% of impedance drop, that is IR into R by 2, which is resistive drop. It is in phase of IR. Plus inductive reactance drop 90 degree to the IR. Hence we are getting the point C. You meet or you draw the line from C to O, that gives voltage drop of V1. It is across the capacitance. Then similarly from VR to IR, that is pi r, that is angle phi r, you draw the 90 degree to VR, that gives capacitance current. Capacitance effect already knowing, 90 degree to VR leading IC, because IC equal to that j omega c into V1. After knowing the V1, we have to calculate IC. Then after knowing the capacitance current, you calculate the sending end current. Vector sum of these two. Vector sum of IR plus IC. From the vector diagram only you can analyze. Once again, IS is vector sum of IR and IC. Once you are getting the sending end current IS, then go for the addition of 50% drop, which is in favor of sending end side. Again 50% of impedance, IS into Z by 2, that is IS into R by 2. It is in the phase of IS line. You can add the 90 degree leading, that is of the IS into XL by 2. So totally it is IS into Z by 2. So you are getting the point E. So from O to E you join the point. So we are going to get as sending end voltage Vs. So you can analyze the things from vector diagram only. Sir, same thing, complex notations. Okay, practice this vector diagram. So capacitive current is equal to j omega c into V1. So omega you can replace 2 pi f c into V1. That is the calculation of capacitive current. After knowing the capacitive current, vector sum of IR and IC gives the sending end current. So after knowing the sending end current, vector of sending end voltage, then V1 voltage across capacitor plus IS into Z by 2, because 50% of impedance with respect to sending end side. So Z you replace R by 2 plus J XL by 2, you calculate the sending end voltage. This is called nominal T method. Starting from equivalent circuit considerations, vector diagram, all these calculations may be asked in the examination, 8 to 10 marks. Give the performance analysis of medium transmission line by using nominal T method. Okay, sir. Then you see one problem. A three-phase 50 Hz overhead transmission line has 100 km long, has the following constants: resistance per kilometer per phase 0.1, inductive reactance per kilometer per phase 0.2 ohms, capacitive susceptance per kilometer per phase 0.04 into 10 to the power of minus 4 Siemens. Determine sending end current, sending end voltage, sending end power factor, transmission efficiency when supplying a balanced load of 10,000 kilowatt at 66 kV. Power factor 0.8 lagging. Use nominal T method. The above parameters are given, distributed parameters along the whole length of transmission line. Length of the transmission line is given, you multiply by that, hence we are getting total resistance per phase. That should be 0.1 per kilometer into kilometer. 0.1 resistance value per kilometer into length of the line. So we are getting 10 ohms. Similarly, you calculate all the things just to multiply length of the transmission line. Then given voltage is line voltage, convert into phase voltage. That we are getting 38,000 around. So it is the three-phase transmission line. Calculate the load current by using three-phase power expression. Power equal to 3 times of VI cos phi. Load side, we are getting 109 ampere. Load side power factor is also given, cos pi r 0.8, then sin phi r becomes 0.6. Then impedance per phase, this also given value 10 plus j 20 ohms. So start the calculations. Taking the receiving end as reference vector, then you go for VR. VR, again it is phase voltage, VR plus J0, 38,105 volts. Then you go for load current in complex form, IR into cos pi r minus of J sin phi r. You are going to get around 87.2 minus of 65.4. So voltage across capacitance, that should be equal to V1. This voltage drop is given by coming from load side, VR plus 50% of impedance drop, IR into Z by 2. So Z value you are knowing, 50% of you take 50% of resistance plus 50% of reactance, that is 5 plus J10. Remaining values, VR you are knowing, IR you are knowing, do the calculation as it is. After knowing the V1, then it is possible to calculate charging current. IC equal to Jy, that is capacitive susceptance, into V1. That value is given, J 4 into 10 to the power of minus 4, V1 you are knowing, calculate IC. Once IC comes, then sending end current is equal to vector sum of IR and IC. Vector sum of IR and IC. So we are going to get around 100 amperes. Then after knowing the sending end current, you can add again 50% of drop to the V1. Current is IS, reference to sending end current. Then we are going to get sending end voltage. Vs equal to V1 plus IS into Z by 2. We are going to get 40,145 with an angle 1.4. Magnitude is 40,145. This is again phase voltage. Theta 1 is angle between VR and Vs, that is 1.4. From the vector diagram, see there, theta 1, that is angle between VR and Vs. Theta 2, angle between VR and IS, 29.47. So total angle I want between Vs and IS. So that is known as sending end phase angle, sending end power factor angle. So that should be equal to addition of these two, 31.27. Hence sending end power factor becomes cos of this value, so 0.853. Once you are getting the sending end power factor, then you can go for sending end power, 3 times of ES/IS into cos by S. Calculate sending end power. Already power delivered is given, that is receiving end power. Then you go for transmission efficiency. Power delivered, power at receiving end, sending end power, that is power input. So we are going to get as 97.34%. Sir, you understand diagram, draw separately, then understand phasor diagram, draw separately, practice, then as per the drawing of phasor diagram only calculations are goes on. Calculations are depending upon phasor diagram only. So understand. Thank you to one and all.